Original story. I, 23F, have been in a relationship with Andrew, 26M, for 3 years. We hit it off pretty quickly and after a year we moved in together. After a couple of months of dating, he introduced me to some of his family members, including his mother Nora, 60-ish F. She had raised him as a single mother and she was very close to Andrew. She wasn't very warm towards me, but she wasn't rude either. The longer we were together the more we would meet her and she never warmed up to me. After a while, I realized she just didn't like me, and yes I was disappointed, but I tried not to think about it too much. I had mentioned it to Andrew, and he said that's just how his mom behaved with his past girlfriends and that I shouldn't worry. On July 9th Andrew and I organized a small get-together with Nora, his aunt Melinda, Chris and Tiff, his cousins, and my mother Cindy. My fiancé and I wanted to announce my pregnancy as I am 4 months pregnant. When we gathered everyone and told them they were ecstatic and congratulated us except Nora. When we went to her she hugged Andrew, congratulated him, and barely acknowledged me. I just walked away because I knew they would start talking and Nora excluded me from the conversation and I went towards Andrew's cousins who I'm close to. We talked about the baby's gender, we want it to be a surprise, and how I would decorate the baby's room. Normal baby chatter. I was with the cousins, but I was still within earshot of Andrew and Nora and noticed that she was excitedly talking about how she would take such good care of the baby because she has always been a mom at heart. I'm not going to lie, I probably overthink, but that last comment pissed me off. She kept talking like I wasn't in the picture. By the end of the get-together, I was mad and waited until she left to go talk to Andrew. I told him I thought her comments were weird and that considering she's never liked me, it just feels like she thinks she's going to replace me. Andrew just said that she wants to be a hands-on grandmother as it's her first grandbaby and that it's not that deep. Yesterday, July 15th, Tiff sent me a message asking me if I knew that Nora was telling her church people, I'm not really religious, I don't know if there's a proper term, that she was being blessed and she would welcome a baby in her life because God could see how much love she had to give back, that she would name it after her grandmother, and just a bunch of nonsense. I told Andrew what I knew, and he finally acknowledged how weird and creepy her lies were, and he called her to set things straight. He told me she started crying and that he felt bad, but I feel like she's just plain crazy and is trying to guilt trip him. I sent her a message that as long as she can't accept that I am the child's mother and to respect me, she won't be in the child's life. Melinda said I went way too far and that I had no business attacking her faith, which I don't believe I ever did. So am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You didn't make anyone cry. Your BF told it like it is and she got upset, that's her problem. Good news. He's on your side and up to dealing with his mother. That's as it should be. Melinda and anyone else can step off. I was so worried he would downplay it again when I told him, but he just couldn't believe it and immediately confronted his mother about her poor behavior, so I'm glad. Not the idiot, and never leave her alone with your baby because she might take it and disappear. I don't think I'd ever feel comfortable leaving my child with this woman, but I'm very worried that unless we cut contact with her, she could do something very dangerous, like claiming she's supposed to pick up my child from school. In a situation like that, just make sure the school knows she is not authorized to pick up your child. Same for daycare childcare. I'm trying to figure out when you attacked her faith. Not the idiot. Telling her to back off and setting boundaries is not attacking someone's faith. The lady is crazy. The faith bit really confused me. Just because she said those insane lies in church doesn't mean I should respect it. Thanks. Edit. Thank you for all your replies, I read it all and really appreciate you guys taking the time to answer. I talked to Andrew about couples counseling and he doesn't seem enchanted, but he said if it makes me feel more secure he'll do it. Nora's been flooding his phone all day, saying everything is a misunderstanding and that I'm twisting everything out of proportion because I'm a crazy hormonal pregnant lady. I will update if anything happens with her. Update. Basically, after her scene on the phone with my fiancé, she spammed his phone with texts saying I'm the crazy hormonal pregnant lady, and then she went very quiet. He didn't block her, she just stopped texting. This morning she showed up, DH was at work, and she knew that, claiming she deserved an explanation for how she was being treated, that she only had the baby's best interests at heart, and that trying to stop that would be going against my child and being a bad parent. I told her that I was done taking her attitude and that she isn't the victim and that she was delusional for thinking she could treat me poorly and still be around my baby. Thank you to the user commenting that you all really helped me see the situation clearly. Calling her delusional really upset her, and I knew she would just start her victim rant, so I showed her out. I had let her in. She doesn't have a key and never will. I called DH before she would have a chance to do so and changed the entire narrative to make me the bad guy. I told him he either get his mother in check or I will be going away until the baby is born because I am not dealing with the stress of having a crazy woman around. He said he understood and he went home early. DH and his cousins are on my side, but of course, his aunt and Mill are the same. I blocked them both and kept sending messages telling me I need to apologize. Like someone recommended, we're going to put them on an info diet. Unless they apologize sincerely and there's a change in their behavior, which I highly doubt, they will not have access to my child and I will only let them know the bare minimum. I'm honestly not delusional enough to believe that this is the last of it, but I feel like I can take a break from them for the next few months. I will update. Edit. Thank you everyone for the amazing amount of support. It's very heartwarming to read. There's some confusion regarding some stuff, so let me try to clear it up. Lol, sorry. I'm not married to DH, he's my fiancé. We always push the date because of COVID and how hard it was to travel since my family isn't from the US, and surprise surprise, JNMIL had a problem with all our ideas. The person who let me know what she was saying in church is DH's cousin, who is also JNAIL's daughter. She's on my side because she knows me well, and she immediately realized my Mill's conversation with the church was extremely off. After I kicked Mill out, I talked with DH for a while and explained to him everything in great detail regarding his mother's behavior, and he is very shocked and apologetic to have brushed it off in the past, so that's a huge relief. He asked Mill to apologize, so she went completely silent and hasn't texted again. I'm thinking that the cousin might have talked to her mother, JNAIL, because she hasn't texted DH either, so maybe hopefully she understands the issue. Well, that's weird. Why does she think she gets to decide what is in the best interest of the baby? This is definitely the type of person you should back away from. None of this makes sense. People don't just wake up one morning and start acting like this. There is probably more to her behavior than your fiancé believed was normal in the past. No clue. Most of our relationship was cold, so the sudden interest in my child really rubs me the wrong way. This is not uncommon with the Mills we hear about on this sub. They tend to completely ignore things they don't want to acknowledge, such as the existence of their daughters-in-law. If you look at the sticky comment on your post, you will see a link to the book list for this sub, and there's also a list of common abbreviations used here. Take a look at the books, some of them will probably help you identify the patterns in Mill's behavior. It can really help the situation if you're so sees a neutral expert identify these behaviors as crossing normal boundaries. She is delusional. She immediately decided that she is raising your baby and you are not in the picture. She told her church family that God is giving her a baby, I assume through immaculate reception. She is demanding you apologize for existing? Yoicks. I am so sorry. I would move in with family for the pregnancy, or at least a few months. So needs to agree to counseling because he doesn't think a mother who hates all his so's and states she is going to raise your child, did she even mention him in this? Is a problem and you should just live your entire life fighting off his mom. He needs to understand that a dad and grandmother are optional equipment for Lo, while their actual mom isn't. If JNMIL or his family sends flying monkeys, you can tell them something like, she told her family and church that God was providing a child for her to raise by herself. She was explicit that I would not be around my own child. I am not going to be close to someone who would prefer I don't exist. I would change your passwords everywhere, tell the nurses your JNMIL is a danger, and they need to watch out for her and register as a private patient when you deliver. If you were my relative, I would be digging a moat for you, but check your zoning laws.